Okay, so I saw a story earlier today and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. In the past, I have commented on how I believe that some of the stuff when we talk about movies and why things are going the wrong way has to do with Hollywood and their dependence on China, or what they feel is their dependence on China, and how they will kowtow to whatever they believe the Chinese whatever the Chinese government wants, so that they can release their movies there and get the box office numbers from China. So even though China is not a nice place for its citizens and they don't have the freedoms that we do, American movie companies will edit away things like African American actors on their posters, or any gay type scenes in their films, to have it released over there, when they would never do that in this country. There would be outrage, it'd be disgusting. But these companies, they want that money so bad, they feel they need China so bad, they'll do whatever they want. And sometimes I worry that that is crossing over into our own country and American citizens, and how they are being treated and silenced through these companies. So Hollywood is in love with China, right? So I read this story. Fearful of political criticism, China won't show the Oscars live. This is in the Washington Post, okay? With a Mandarin language movie nominated for Best International Feature and a Chinese-born woman the front-runner for Best Director, this year's Oscars should have been an opportunity for China to take a victory lap. Instead, the annual ceremony is becoming something else in one of the world's largest film markets, a thorn in its side. The developments are turning a potential moment of easy Hollywood harmony into a political flashpoint, and underlining the growing complexity of the industry's relationship with China. The Beijing-backed Hong Kong broadcaster TVB said this week it will not air the April 25th Academy Awards telecast in the city, marking the first time in more than 50 years it will fail to do so. It follows Chinese media regulators' decision earlier in March not to air the Oscars live on its streaming platforms. A censored version is likely to air later. The reason appears to be Do Not Split, a 35-minute film made at the front lines of the 2019 Hong Kong democracy protest that has been nominated in the documentary short category. That's one of the reasons they think that. Additionally, the government may be concerned about a platform for filmmaker Chloe Zhao, whose Nomadland, is front-runner for Best Picture and Director. While the Frances McDormand starring movie focuses on itinerant workers in the modern American West, it comes from a Chinese-born director who once made comments critical of China. Now look, here's my issue. I haven't seen these movies. Like I said, I haven't seen these movies. This is the first year I kind of don't care about the Oscars. The SAG Awards were last night. I paid attention for 2 seconds to their pre-show that was on, because I don't have TNT, and then I couldn't be bothered to look at the actual awards being given out, because I didn't see most of these movies. B, award shows in this format are terrible. These people, they look like they're in a Zoom meeting. They're dressed up, but some of them, it's like, they have a nice house, and it looks like they're filming it in their hallway or in the bathroom or something, because it has a white background. It's like, you probably have a very nice house. Look at me, I'm in my house. This is paneling that was up since my mother bought the house. You know what I mean? This futon that I bought from a store that went out of business 10 years ago is 15 years old. This curtain here to block some of the draft. You know what I mean? And it looks more normal than people looking like they're in a hostage video while they're accepting their SAG award, because they got this bright white background. Anyway, I don't, everything is a mess. And I have no need to watch these ceremonies, which aren't ceremonies anymore. And they should not be dressed up. They should be dressed like me and Jason Sudeikis. It's stupid. This whole thing is stupid. However, the Oscars is still coming. Somebody's going to get those awards. It's still important. It's still going to go in the history books. It's going to be live streamed or whatever. They're still throwing the damn thing. They're still taking it seriously. They intend to give this woman, or they might give this woman Best Director or perhaps Best Film also. And it looks like the problem in China is she might say something. She might use this Chinese woman, born in China, maybe making history, winning Best Director. They're worried about her saying something against something political. This is this country where it's all about politics, the United States, right? That's all they care about all day long. Meanwhile, they're constantly kissing the ass of China. China, who now won't show their biggest night because they might give an Oscar to a Chinese woman. What are you going to say? They're racist? They're clearly not racist. Their problem is freedom of speech, which Hollywood has been helping to stamp out. When Hollywood lets people be canceled, when Hollywood lets people be fired from Disney for expressing their views on Twitter or Instagram, that is suppressing free speech. China suppresses free speech. China does not want to show the Oscars live because one of their own may win an Oscar and use some free speech to express herself. This is now the snake eating its own tail. This is Hollywood beholden to a country that will not allow one of their own free speech. That Hollywood is helping to tamper down free speech in this country, but also the same Hollywood will give themselves extreme pats on the back if they were to award a person of color who happens to be an American, who happens to be Chinese in this year of Stop Asian Hate Crimes. Meanwhile, they are constantly kissing the ass of a country who doesn't believe in free speech to the point where they won't even show the Oscars live. God forbid what their own woman, their own Chinese woman, will say something that they don't approve of. Or a documentary that is about the Hong Kong protests when Hong Kong was free for so many years, went back to belonging to China, and China tries to be, dictatory to Hong Kong, and they're too free. They're too free-minded. They're trying to put the genie back in the bottle in Hong Kong, and the people resist, as you should, when your freedoms are being taken away. Our freedoms in this country are being taken away. Hollywood helps. It helps that every single day. It's doing the narrative. It's writing the story. And now look at this. It's come all the way back around. China's going to censor all of Hollywood on Oscar night because a Chinese female, a Chinese-born woman, may win Hollywood's biggest award. Will Hollywood do anything about it? Or will they act like this is not happening? Or will they act like they're all strong and brave and everything, but, oh yeah, let's keep sending our movies over there. Let's keep doing whatever they want so we can get that box office. I couldn't believe that when I saw that. I'm like, and watch, they're not going to say anything. Okay, it was in the Washington Post. I didn't get to see the nightly news. Was it on any of that stuff? Did anybody bring it up? We're still going to act like China's wonderful. All the things. This is the thing. like I said, they're always trying to, the media and everybody, always trying to pick a fight with Russia. The powers that be behind both political parties for the last 10 or so years have tried to remake, or did I say Russia? Yeah, I think I said Russia. Always trying to pick a fight with Russia, always trying to still paint Russia as the bad guy. The political establishment of the last 10 years, it doesn't matter which side, has been trying to kick up a war with Russia again. It's always through Ukraine, you know. But there's no reason for it, because they forgot the part where Russia kind of became like us. They're still Russian, but they're way more free than they used to be. But everything that our parents and grandparents thought about Russia back in the day, that's what China is now. When they're like, oh, Russia's horrible. The people there, they're not free, and they can't pray, and they can't do this and that, and they don't have freedom of that's China. China's the ones that are still commies. All the the Red Scares and communist hatred that people had for Russia, and they're so scared of them. Oh my God, what if we have a war with them, and then we have to become commies? They win, and we got to become commies. That's where we're at with China. But every once in a while, the powers that be dust off Russia again to try to make them the villain. But in reality, the stuff that human beings and Americans or people want, your freedom, it's China who doesn't allow that. Now, I'm not saying Russia's perfect, but comparatively speaking, compared to what it was, which what people feared so much, what China is now and people should fear, they don't. This has nothing to do with Chinese people. This has to do with Chinese government, the way they treat their own citizens. Now, look, here's the prime proof. A Chinese-born woman may win Best Director. Her film may win Best Picture. I haven't watched Nomadland. I've heard about it an awful lot. That's the one I keep hearing about, that and Ma Rainey's, what is it, Ma Rainey something? I didn't see either of them. Those are the movies I hear the most about without really paying attention. Those are the titles that keep popping up. So this woman has a really good chance to win 2 Oscars. I mean, if she's not a producer, okay, she won't win Best Picture, but it'll be her picture. I don't know if she's a producer or not, so she could win 2, maybe just the 1. But if she's the front runner for Best Director, and China's flat out, we're not televising that live, when they have for 50 years, and it could be a history-making event for them. But they're so worried she may say something against them, against the way they treat some people. Maybe it's about the Uyghurs. Maybe she might say anything at all. And they want to make sure she doesn't. So it's not going to be streaming. It's not going to be televised live. And everybody's going to have to see an edited version. Just like they have to edit out gay kisses. Just like you can't see, John Boyega on the poster for whatever the hell it was. Which one of those? The Last Jedi? I don't even know. One of them movies. They did not want to do that because Chinese people don't like black people or something. I have no idea. But all that stuff, all the supposed Hollywood stuff that is so important to them, diversity and equity and all that stuff, they let it go completely. They let freedom go completely where China is concerned. They do the bidding of China, it seems, in some cases. And how is Hollywood going to sit there and say, okay, well, we're going to make everybody hashtag stop anti-Asian hate or whatever the hashtag is. But meanwhile, we're going to let China hate a Chinese female director winning an Oscar. That's a hate crime. Silencing her. Not letting the people see one of their own do good. Hometown Girl does good. Is the story going to disappear? Is it going to kick up? What's Hollywood going to do? Are they going to try to find a way to twist it into a good narrative for them? Because right now, like I said, it's a snake eating its own tail. It has come back around. And it's going to be like they're on both sides. They're helping freedom of speech be oppressed. And now freedom of speech on their biggest night is going to be oppressed by China. And are they going to let it fly? It'll be interesting to see. I hope the story doesn't die. I hope something gets fixed. I hope they have to watch it live. Or I hope people make us think about it. Maybe people will come up with some kind of ribbon. I don't know. Shouldn't be happening. Shouldn't be happening. None of this shit should be happening. It should be a proper ceremony. But if they let that go, they're going to have to, I hope everybody in Hollywood sits there and looks at themselves and says, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because it doesn't make sense. They need to get right. They need to stop doing the bidding of those who would silence us all. They need to stop pandering to the Chinese government just to get those box office numbers. I know everybody wants to make money, but it's gone too far. There's no integrity. There's nothing left. They're losing Americans left and right through the last political cycle, just pissing on half of their audience because they didn't like the right guy. And now, get your integrity back. Here's your opportunity. Take it.